Abhishek Ken, am I audible? Abhishek N, Basalaj NV, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Naveen Kumar?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Yeah, good morning. So in the last class, we were dealing with the file system supports so many operations like open, close, read, write, as well as IOCS interface also supports so many operations. So we were dealing with interface between the file system and IOCS. So how actually you have the interface between the file system and the input output control system. Okay, so next topic after that is the allocation of disk space. So allocation of disk space or the space available on the hard disk. So allocation of disk space for the files. Okay, so like generally, like we know that all the files will be stored in the secondary storage devices, so the hard disk. Okay, so this allocation of the files on the hard disk, so will be allowing us to say reserve some space on the hard disk so that the files can be stored. So the allocation of space for the files in the hard disk is called as the allocation of disk space. So how we are supposed to allocate the small amount of space for the files, okay, so that the file can be accessed in an efficient manner, okay, and the hard disk space is also used efficiently, okay. So these allocation methods it will be allowing the operating system to allocate or reserve the hard disk space so that the files can be stored, okay. And the intention behind so this approach is to have the effective utilization of the hard disk space or the secondary storage device space, okay. And second intention is to have the faster access for the files. So by keeping these 2 points in mind, the operating system will be able to do the allocation of the hard disk space for the files, okay. I repeat, so the main 2 intention behind the allocation of disk space is OS will be keeping these 2 points in mind. Okay, so the first one is how we can utilize the hard disk space efficiently. Okay, so as to have the full utilization of the hard disk space or the secondary storage okay, memory. And second intention is to have the faster access for the files which are stored on the hard disk. Okay, so according to your syllabus, so we have basically 3 types of allocation of disk space. Okay, so first one is the contiguous allocation. So as the name itself indicates, the blocks or the segments of our file will be allocated with the contiguous blocks. Okay, so I'm supposed to allocate the contiguous blocks of memory space, right, in the hard disk. Okay, hence the name is given as contiguous allocation. And second type of allocation of disk space is so the linked allocation. Okay, so why the name linked is being used? Because so we have the concept of linked list to be used here. Okay, so hence the name linked allocation. And third type of allocation of disk space is indexed allocation. Okay, right. So for your syllabus, you have basically these 3 kinds of allocation of disk space. And as I told, you should be also able to concentrate on the heading. Okay, so the heading here is allocation of disk space, or in other words, the heading can also be called as file allocation methods. So in the examination, like they may ask you to explain the different types of file allocation methods, or in other words, okay, same question can be asked in like other way as well. So for example, explain the 3 types of allocation of disk space. So don't get confused with the different words being used. Okay, so both are one at the same, right? I mean, allocation of disk space as well as file allocation methods. Okay, so both are one of the same. And for your syllabus, you have so basically 3 types of allocation of disk space. Okay, and those are the contiguous allocation. Second one is linked allocation, and third one is indexed allocation. And as I told, so we have the diagrams for each and every type of allocation of disk space. Okay, so just be familiar with these headings. Okay, I repeat, you should be familiar with the headings and the related diagrams. Okay, so why? Because the diagram figures will be like drawing more attention of the evaluator. Okay, yeah. So now, like, let us see the first type of allocation of disk space that we call it as contiguous allocation. Like as I told, like, as the name itself indicates, the contiguous allocation means that so the blocks or the parts or the small segments of our file will be allocated with the contiguous blocks, right, or the contiguous memory space available on the hard disk. Okay, so we know that a hard disk contains many file system and each in its own partition of the disk. Okay, so the file system will be actually knowing like in which partition a file belongs to. So but the input output control system or IOCS will not be having any idea where these files will be stored on the hard disk. Okay, so hence the disk space allocation will be performed by the file system. So very important point. So the allocation of disk space for the files on the hard disk will be performed by the file system. Okay, so why? Because this input and output control system will not be having any idea regarding the location of the files where they are stored on the hard disk. Hence the disk space allocation will be performed by the file system. Okay, like in case of this continuous allocation, so what we'll do is, so the blocks or the parts or so-called small segments of the file will be allocated with the contiguous memory space available in the hard disk. Okay, so the locations where we'll be storing the files will be contiguous in nature. Okay, and a simple analogy like what I can give here is, say, seating arrangement of the students according to their roll numbers. So, for example, so the roll number one student will be seated in bench number one, and roll number two student will be sitting in bench number two, and roll number three student will be sitting in bench number three. So here for each and every student, say for example, the roll number 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay, so the benches will be arranged in a sequential manner. Okay, so similar to this, we have the allocation of memory space on the hard disk for all the files, and that memory space will be allocated in a contiguous manner. Okay, so advantage of this is simple to implement. Okay, so why? Because so we have the sequential storage of the files on the disk. Okay, hence it is easy to implement. It also provides data access efficiently. Okay, so why? Because say like as we know that the address space or the memory space allocated for the files will be like in a sequential manner. Okay, that will help us to have the accessing of files to be more easy and with higher efficiency. Okay, so by reducing the disk head movement during the sequential access to the data in the file, so the disk like suppose if you see the hard disk means it can be having the head of the hard disk. Okay, so this head movement will be as much as less, suppose if I am storing the data in a sequential manner. Hence this will help us in the sequential access of data like in a much more efficient manner. So, but the main disadvantage, so what you can see here in the contiguous allocation of disk space is, so this will lead to external fragmentation and also internal fragmentation. So you can just recall the meaning of external fragmentation and internal fragmentation. So what we had studied in the module 3, that is memory management. Okay, so for your like easy recall, okay, so the meaning of this external fragmentation simply means that the memory space are too small to be allocated to the programs. Okay, and regarding the internal fragmentation, so where the memory allocated to the process will not be fully used by the particular process. Okay, hence this may lead to the wastage of memory space. Okay, hence you do have the occurrence of this external fragmentation as well as the internal fragmentation. Suppose if I go for the continuous allocation. Like as I told, so we have a small figure for this. Okay, So you can assume this as the hard disk, right? Or the secondary storage device, also called as the baking store device. So where like I'll be storing all the files and records. Okay. So this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are nothing but the physical sectors or the location where I'm supposed to store the files or the records. Okay. Right. I repeat, like these 0, 1, 2, 3, like numericals or numbers that what you're seeing, all these are the physical sectors or the locations where the data will be stored. Okay. And if suppose if you are not able to recall the meaning of these physical sectors and tracks, okay, so can simply this particular see this diagram. Okay, so where we have the division of the hard disk space into like in terms of sectors as well as the track. Okay, so this highlighted circular thing we call it as a track, and this track will be divided into so many sectors. Okay, right, and these 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are indicating the physical sectors or the locations where I'm supposed to store the information or the data or the files. Okay, so like here we have a hard disk. Okay, and like this is like nothing but a directory. Okay, so where we have the information to be stored with respect to the file name. So for example, A, B, C are the different files. Okay, and so we also have the storing of information of the starting point of the file as well as the length of the file. Okay, so this directory is storing all the information related to the files. So for example, the file name, okay, as well as the starting point of those files, as well as the length of the file. Okay, so this length of the file indicates how many blocks are needed on the hard disk so as to store the file. Okay, so this length will be indicating that how many blocks are needed so as to store the particular file on the hard disk. Okay, so all this information will be stored in the directories, namely the file name and the starting point of the let's say file or the record, and the third field will be the length of the record. Okay, so you can have a simple example like to be considered here. So for example, this file A, okay, so this file A is starting from 0 as indicated in the directory. Okay, so this file A is starting from the 0. And what is the length of file A? Anybody? What is the length of file A?
3.
3. Okay, so by seeing the entries on the directory, okay, so you can observe the diagram, right, or the figure, right? So where we have the hard disk, and so this file A has got a starting point of 0, and as its length is equal to 3 means 0, 1, 2. Okay, so from 0 to 2 number of blocks are reserved for file A. Okay, and if you yeah, so like also see the important point. Okay, so this file A, right, like as the length of file A is 0 and 0, 1, 2 blocks are reserved for file A. So you can also notice that 0 block, 1 block, 2 block are always contiguous in nature. Means contiguous blocks will be allocated for the file A having a length of 3. Okay, and if you see the file B, means file B is starting from 0. Okay, as shown in the directory table. Okay, so file B is starting say from 0. And what is the length of file B? File B is consuming five blocks. Okay, right, hence from 6 to 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks will be reserved for the file B. Why? Because its length is 5. Okay, hence the blocks 6 to 10 blocks will be reserved for the file B. And if you see the file C, means file C starting from the 14th location, and its length is, what is the length of file C?
4.
4. Okay, hence the file C is starting from 14. Okay, so from 14 to 17 means 14, 15, 16, 17 means continuous blocks will be allocated for the file C. Why? Because its length is 4. Okay, so like using this particular hard disk diagram as well as the directory entries, you can easily explain the contiguous allocation of disk space. Okay, yes, hope I'm clear with this. along with the diagram and explanation. So you can easily explain this, right? Yeah. So second kind of allocation method is, we call it as the linked allocation, as I told. So this linked allocation, like why the name linked is being used, because like here we use something like linked list format. Okay, so we have the use of linked list data structure. Okay, hence the name linked list is being used. Okay, so like in case of this linked allocation of disk space, right, a file is represented by a linked list of disk blocks. Okay, so you can see the figure here, right? So this cylindrical shape thing is the hard disk or the secondary memory. Okay, so where we have the linked list of disk block. Okay, so like all these rectangular so blocks, what you're seeing here. Okay, so all these rectangular blocks are nothing but the linked list of the disk block. Okay, and here each and every rectangular thing, so called the disk blocks, will be having two fields. Okay, which are the first field will be the data field, second field will be the metadata. Okay, so what is the meaning of data field? Data field contains the data to be written into the file. Okay, so this first field here, okay, in all the data blocks, always the first field will be what? First field will be the data field, which will indicate the information or data to be written into the file. Okay, so while the second part is called as the metadata. Okay, so what is this metadata? So this metadata is nothing but it contains the address of the next disk block allocated to the file. Okay, so here each and every, so like a rectangular block, like what you can see here, are called as the disk block. Okay, available in the hard disk, and each and every disk block will be having how many fields here? Two fields are there, where first field is what? First field is the data field. Second field is metadata. Okay, so what is the function of the first field? First field will be storing the data which I want to write into the file, and second field will be indicating the address of the next instruction or the next disk block, okay, allocated to a file. Okay, so the location information field, yeah, like here it is. Okay, so similar to the previous figure, like what we had a directory here. Okay, same directory will be there in the linked allocation, like as you can see here, right? And in case of linked allocation, the directory will be storing the file name. So for example, alpha and beta are the two files. Okay, right? Along with that, the location information will be also indicated in the directory entry. Okay, so the location information field, like as you're seeing here, right, of the directory entry of the file alpha points to the first disk block on the file. So this line of what you're seeing is the location information of the file alpha, and this location information of file alpha is pointing to the first entry in the disk block, and that is equal to 3. Right, are you seeing this? Are you seeing this line? Okay, yeah. So the other blocks are accessed by following the pointers in the list of disk blocks. Like as you can see here, suppose if you see this disk block 1 means, so this disk block 1 is pointing to the address of the next disk block 6, right? And if you see the block number 6 means, so this block number 6 is again pointing to the address of the next disk block. Okay, so we have something like a linked list format where the first field will be indicating the information to be stored on the file, as well as the second block will be indicating the address of the next disk block. Okay, hence we call this as a linked allocation of disk space. Okay, so the last, so the last disk block always contains null information, okay, in its metadata field. Okay, suppose if we have the dash, like simply a dash or a null or a minus sign in the metadata field, means that indicates that that is the end of the file. Okay, that indicates that that is the end of the file. Okay, so what is the bottom line here? So we have so many number of disk blocks, and each and every disk block will be having two fields, right? So the first field is called as the data field, and that will be indicating the data to be written into the file. And the second block is called as the metadata field, and the metadata field will be indicating the address of the next disk block, okay, allocated to the particular file. Okay, and also we have the use of the directory here, and this directory will be indicating the starting block of the file, right? Like example you can see here. So this file by name alpha and its location information is indicating to the starting block of the file, and that particular disk block is disk block number 3. Okay, disk block number 3 is indicated by this by the location information of the file name alpha. Okay, and if you see this file beta, means the location information field of the file beta is indicating to the disk block number 4, right? Is it visible? Are you seeing this? So for the disk block 4, okay, so we have the data of the file beta to be stored, right? And the second field of disk block 4 is pointing to which disk block? Disk block 7. Okay, and here, like as you can see, the metadata field of disk block 7 is not pointing to any other disk block. Okay, so that indicates that is the end of, okay, that is the end of the file number. That is the end of this file beta. Okay, so you can explain this figure as well as the linked allocation, where we have like the use of directory, as well as we have so many number of disk blocks. Okay, like again, each and every disk block will be divided into, say, two fields, where the first field is data and second field is the metadata. Okay, yeah. So the advantage of this linked allocation of disk space is no external fragmentation is there. Why? Because you can put the file block anywhere in the hard disk. Okay, so like wherever you find the empty disk block, okay, there you can allocate that particular block to any of the file. Okay, and simply by adding the pointer so as to point to the next location, okay, so you can easily allocate the files wherever you find the empty disk blocks. Okay, and here no question of any external fragmentation, right? Second advantage is no need to search for contiguous allocation, right? A very important point, as we have seen in the previous solution. What was that? The first type of allocation of disk space was contiguous allocation. Like there we need to search for the contiguous memory addresses so as to find the space. Okay, so but here, like in case of linked allocation, no need to search for the contiguous locations. Why? Because wherever you find the empty disk blocks, okay, right, there we can store the information of the files, and by simply attaching a pointer whose function is to point to the next address of the next disk block, you can have the implementation of this linked allocation. Hence, no need to search for the contiguous locations on the hard disk. Okay, and third advantage is all blocks in the hard disk are efficiently utilized. Okay, all blocks in the hard disk will be efficiently utilized. So you can mention these three advantages. So next, going to some data structures, so called FAT. Okay, so this FAT stands for the file allocation table. Okay, so this FAT is nothing but an array that has one element corresponding to each and every disk block in the disk. Okay, so you can see here, like in the hard disk available, like we have here so many disk block. Okay, so where this free blocks will be indicated by the shaded area. Okay, and I can see this free blocks are block number 1, block number 6, and block number 8. Okay, so this block number 1 and 6 and 8 are freely available. Okay, and this block number 2, 3, 5, 7 are being occupied already. Okay, so we have the information regarding each element corresponding to every disk block on the disk. Okay, so this information will be stored in an array structure, and this array structure that is able to indicate each element corresponding to every hard disk in the block is called as the file allocation table, means FAT. Okay, so this FAT is called as file allocation table. Okay, and this will be like in terms of an array structure where this each and every field will be indicating the element corresponding to every disk block in the disk, right? So as you can see here, this the disk block address 1 and disk block address 6 and disk block address 8 are free here, right? So this disk block address 1 and disk block having address of 6 and address having 8 are free here. Okay, so what about this other blocks? Other blocks means like this third block and fourth block and fifth block, seventh block. Okay, like all these are being already occupied. Okay, so basically a file allocation table is an array that has one element corresponding to every disk block, okay, on the disk. Okay, so you can see the array structure here where the like this column will be indicating the address of the disk blocks available, right? So from 1 to 8 we have the addresses, and here each and every field of the FAT table will be having what? Each and every field in the FAT table will be having an entry that is corresponding to the every disk block in the disk. Okay, so for a disk block that is allocated to a file, the corresponding FAT element contains the address of the next disk block. Okay, so as you can see here, so this disk block having address of 3 is having the address of the next disk block, means 2 it is. Okay, again this FAT element 2 is pointing to which field? Is pointing to end. Okay, means that is the end of the record. Okay, so thus the disk block and its FAT element together form a pair that contains the same information as the disk block in a classical linked allocation scheme. What we have seen the linked allocation scheme. Okay, like as you can see here. Okay, so the same linking arrangement of one block with another block, same information will be supplied by this FAT table, like having the array of the fields, right, or the array of elements. Okay, and these are the like addresses of the disk blocks available on the hard disk, and this FAT element. Okay, so this FAT element will be containing what? The address of the next disk block, right? Are you following it? So again, we have the same use of dictionary, okay, and that will be giving us the file name, so for example, alpha and beta, along with the location information. Okay, so this file name alpha is stored in which disk block? Address of disk block where the file alpha is stored. What is the address here? Address is 3. Okay, right? Fine. So in the block address 3, right? So we have the storing of the file element so called 2, and this file name, I mean, like this 2 is indicating the address of the next block, and so this block 2 is pointing to the end, means that is the end of the disk block. Okay. So when compared to this file beta, so we have here the disk block 4, and that is pointing to the disk address of 5, and again this 5 is pointing to the 7, and again 7 is pointing to the end, means that is the end of the disk block. Okay, so the linked list structure, what we saw in the linked allocation, same information is been provided using a table by name FAT. Okay, FAT. FAT means file allocation table. Okay, as simple as that. So the third one is something called as the index allocation. Okay, so we have the third type of so disk allocation method, and that we call it as the index allocation. So what are the points regarding this index allocation? Okay, so we have the similar use of directory, and we have something called as FMT alpha and FMT beta. Okay, so this FMT is nothing but a file map table. Okay, right? So we have a separate file map table meant for each and every file. And as you can see here, inside the directory, you can find how many files? So we have two files, alpha and the file beta. Okay, and we use this hard disk where you can find the disk blocks. Okay, right. So like starting this information of this FMT, basically this FMT is standing for file map table, and so this file map table, like it contains the address of the disk blocks allocated to a file. Okay, so like as you can see, like inside this FMT for alpha and FMT for beta. Okay, so you can find various data fields here. Okay, and these data fields are pointing to the various disk blocks available on the hard disk. Okay, understand this. So we have the use of FMT table in the indexed allocation, and the meaning of FMT table is file map table. Okay, here an index called as a file map table will be maintained so as to note down the address of the disk blocks allocated to a file. Okay, so this statement is seen like in the diagram. So where this file map table of alpha, like having so many fields here, is pointing to the various disk blocks. Okay, so FMT can be an array containing the disk block address, as you can see here. So this FMT is like simply an array that will contain the disk block addresses. Okay, so like here we find an FMT table, like here it is. Okay, like this FMT table is maintained so as to note down the address of the disk blocks, like we know that. Okay, so you can see here FMT can be an array of containing array that contains the address of the various disk blocks. Okay, and also we have something called as DSM. Okay, so where this DSM stands for disk status map. Okay, so a table called as disk status map, like in short DSM, okay, is used so as to indicate the status of disk blocks. Say for example, like as you can see here, the availability of various disk blocks. So whether these disk blocks are occupied or are they free. Okay, so the status of these disk blocks, okay, will be stored in the DSM data structure. Okay, so a table called as a disk status map is used to indicate the status of the disk blocks which are available on the hard disk. Okay, so a DSM has one entry for each and every disk blocks that indicates so whether the disk block is available or the disk space is allocated to a particular file or not. Okay, suppose if the entry in the DSM table is 1, means this one indicates that corresponding disk block is allocated, and if the entry is 0, means this 0 entry indicates that the corresponding block is free, like as you can see here. Okay, so this 0 is indicating that disk block is free, and one entry in the DSM indicates that the particular disk block is allocated. Okay, so this DSM, right? So this disk status map will be consulted each and every time a new disk block has to be allocated to a file. Okay, so what this OS will do is, before allocating a file to a new disk block, the OS will be consulting this DSM table. Okay, every time a new disk block has to be allocated to a file. Okay, so you can explain this FMT table, right, along with say like this particular figure. Okay, so where we have used a file map table. right? Along with the normal use of the hard disk as well as a directory. Okay, so of course, main function is to indicate the location of the various files as well as the file name. Okay, so but the main change here is an index, like index called as FMT table is maintained. Okay, like so as to maintain the addresses of the disk block, right, allocated to a particular file. Okay, so can explain. So this allocation of disk space, the way we find here basically three kinds of allocation methods. Okay, right. So basically we find three types of disk allocation methods or allocation of disk space. Those are contiguous allocation as well as linked allocation, and last one is indexed allocation, right? Like I said, so for each and every type of allocation methods, you have the diagrams accompanying. So hence practice the heading as well as the related diagrams. Okay, so it can end here. Okay, like I'll be logging out. So like you also log out and so join for the next class. And according to the syllabus for second internals, so like syllabus is been already mentioned. So module 3, like memory management, and up to the last topic, what you are supposed to be covering in the upcoming slides. Okay, so module 3 and module 4, right, are the syllabus for the second internals. Right? Are you there? Are you hearing? Are you there? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you can practice well all the headings as well as the related diagrams, like in module 3 and module 4. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Sir. हाँ मैडम ಈಗ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮುಗಿದಿ ಬಂದ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಬಂದ
ಇದಂತೂ ಬೇರೆ ಸುಮಾರು ನಮ್ದು ಇದು ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಮೇಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಯಾವ ಇದು ಇವನ್ನ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ